the largesse that the CEOs experience. That's when they turn to the government in times of crisis. So the government has to do a little bit more to work better. So those are the big issues that they're going to go after. And I hope they do, because that means they are devoid of other ideas.
Are you up against any institutional donors or organizations?
Institutional donors. Roscoe will raise what he thinks he needs to raise to win. His PACs are big, and you'll recognize their names. There's a wonderful website, not only the election website, but one called Open Secrets. Open Secrets tracks a lot of different things, but Northrop Grumman is one of his biggest. Military, Defense Department contractors are naturally contributors to, and it's not just Roscoe. It's incumbent members of Congress. They get the money. The realtors give to them. Incumbents again. There is a power to incumbency. That's why 97% of them get reelected. And if we want to talk about term limits, which was one of the things that Roscoe ran on,
yes,
promised us. 2 terms and out. Well, he's special. But, what's that?
He had unfinished work.
He does have unfinished work on his farm.
He'll be there for another one.
Yeah, well, the work on his farm, but the idea that they can tap Roscoe for a loyal party vote when they need it. They let him be until they absolutely need him, which was recently the swing vote. He was holding out on Anwar, and they know they're going to get hammered on these gas prices in the election. So they want to offer some glimmer of hope to the consumer to say, Anwar's the solution. Anwar's not the solution. It's boring, but it's not the solution. Can they put it on a bumper sticker? I'll give you a picture of a polar bear on a bumper sticker. No, I won't do that.
Are you going to get to debate Roscoe?
Debating Roscoe. Oh, wow. This is where you can help. Yes, we want to debate Roscoe. I've asked Roscoe to debate in every county in the district. 8 debates. I would love that. I think that would be fun. I think that would be good for the voters to see us side by side, and to have a little free exchange of ideas. Maybe not make it as scripted, and certainly not. I don't believe in having the personal attacks out there, because I've lived through that. That's no fun. But he hasn't said yes yet. He hasn't said yes to that. And I want you to go to our website, jennifer08.com. Look on there. There's going to be a poster up there that says, "Tell Roscoe to debate." There's going to be a telephone number there. I want you to call his office. You can email him too. Tell him to debate in every county. Because if we leave out Baltimore and Harford County, if we leave out Garrett County and Allegheny County just because they're not convenient for him to get to, well, that's not quite right. Because that's, a third of the electorate. That's a third of the population. Now, FCC is working on a debate. Hagerstown Herald-Mail is working on a debate. Harford County. I've agreed to all of these. Neutral ground. I wouldn't think the Hagerstown Herald-Mail would be a big Jennifer backer. But what they do want is they do want to have the exchange of ideas. And the opportunity to say, where have you been on health care? Where have you been on job growth in the western part of the state? Frederick is so lucky. We have so many great things happening here. We're so close to Washington, Baltimore. It's easy to get down the road. But our economy here is doing pretty well, despite what we see around us. Not insulated from all troubles, but in Western Maryland, we have a lot of jobs being lost. Manufacturing jobs. And that is part of an international issue that our local congressmen should be involved in, trying to pay attention to the jobs that they're losing. Because once that job is gone and that factory is gone, they are stuck. They cannot find other work. They don't have the opportunity to go to even a distribution center anymore. Because strangely enough, distribution centers are going to Pennsylvania. Now, if our jobs were all going to Mexico or some other country, that's bad enough. But our jobs, some of our jobs in Western Maryland are going to Pennsylvania. That means we're not paying attention. And like in the city of Frederick, I wanted to pay attention to economic development. And rather than just have a generalist out there who works for the district office of the member of Congress, I'm going to have an economic specialist, someone who will work with the local governments and the local communities and say, what businesses fit here? What businesses will actually be able to grow and expand here? What matches up with our workforce? Because the community colleges are doing a fantastic job there. And those of you who are involved in Frederick Community College, you really see it. But in Western Maryland, that is the hub of the community. The activity is fantastic. But what are they training for? What they're training for is to drive to Frederick to find a job. That's not quite enough. So to understand how the workforce development issues really match up for us is important in the congressional office. And we can't just leave it to somebody who's out there offering great constituent service. Answer the phone, help with the passport issues. We will absolutely do that. But how will we be able to grow and expand jobs in our district? That's the test. And we're not seeing that. And you know that I got very excited and really wanted to get the things on the creek done and had a wonderful team that worked very hard on that. And we gave them what we thought they asked for, and they really delivered. I'm proud to be part of that, and I want to take that model and use it throughout the district, because it will work. It will work. You know, we have some incredible wealth in our district. If you drive out in Hartford and Baltimore counties, you kind of feel like you're going through the rolling hills of Ireland. The horse farms are fantastic. The wealth is fantastic. Frederick County, we are so fortunate, as I've said. But you head west and you watch the median household income shrink to half of what it is here. Half. And actually their gasoline is more expensive. And you've seen it all. You are smart people. You can figure it out. A disproportionate amount of their income.
Yeah, but my company does a lot of work in going through central and western Maryland. And it's very similar. It's becoming increasingly similar to what we've seen in the Winchester and the Shenandoah Valley area. And what I saw through the years is one indicator is we're required to provide or to require drug testing for employees. A few years ago, we reached a point where the rate of failure for new hires who couldn't pass a drug test in those areas, in those rural areas, was equivalent to what we were finding in D.C. and downtown Baltimore. And that's an indicator of what is really going on there. You pointed out the issue about guns and working in construction. I know exactly what you mean. And I would just tell a guy straight out, look, you want to own a gun? That's your call. Okay? More people are going to die without health care or lack of job. My job is to see to it that you have a job. So if you want to buy an over and under or 30-30, that's your call. But my job is to see to it that jobs are available. And I say that as somebody who once ran for public office and was foolish enough to get up and make what I thought was a responsible statement in Boonesboro, Maryland. And in retrospect, it wasn't a wise thing to do because I think you put your finger on it. It isn't what is really important right now. And if you're going to be a leader, you have to make judgments about priorities. So I would just reinforce what you're doing there. You're dead on. And for those of us who are not afraid to say that we're the Democrats, you have my blessing to do that. It's far more important things right now.
Well, thanks. That's reassuring. And I think the people around here, I mean, you guys remember, I'm the one person who's been in the paper. You know, somebody with 51 guns wanted to kill me and all the skateboarders. You know, and he got his guns back. You know, I have to say, and my friend Neil was gosh, so nice. I showed up at Rotary, I think, the next day, and Neil and one other guy, they were like my bodyguards. It was really very reassuring. But and I have to say, I had a pretty good group of police officers around me too. I'm sure nothing happened. But you know, in the bigger scheme of things,